All right, should we start? So in case we want to keep anything else we say.
I'm just ready for the clap.
Okay.
I was just
the actual clap, not like the STDs. I don't want that. I don't want
All
that
right.
clap.
Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Clap.
Like that. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can start.
Okay.
And then we can start the hello and all.
I thought we were doing it. I got excited. I preemptively clapped.
So did I.
That's okay.
Premature.
I couldn't see
It's
you.
okay. A
Well, I
premature
wasn't sure.
clapulation.
Let's just do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 hello.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay. Forget about the clap.
They have creams for that to help you.
They did. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Ghosty fam. Amy here. Welcome to our last episode of season 3 of the Activity Continues podcast. If you heard our last episode, you know what's happening, and you may have noticed a third voice in our hello. So please give a hearty Ghosty fam welcome to Patron Amy, aka Amy P, aka AP,
AKA 83.
Amy 3. Hello and welcome, Amy.
That's the crowd going wild.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Here and in the beyond.
And in your ears.
And in my ears and your ears and wherever it might be.
Yeah. Or your car or however you listen to this.
So if you didn't hear our last episode, Amy is joining us and she's going to be kind of keeping us in check as she has been doing for the whole run of this show. We just haven't been hearing her. She's at home listening or at work listening and going, you guys.
Yeah. And
That's
texting us and being like, you said this, but this is right.
It's usually saying something like, well, you almost had it.
Yes.
Or I just have, I think my brother and I just have this innate nature that we're those people that if we don't know the answer to something, we have to go and look it up. Look it up? Look it up.
I mean, I was going to let that go. But,
It's been a long week and it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that reminds me. That's why I'm going to pour my wine.
Oh, nice.
What kind of wine is it? Is it red?
It's a Chardonnay. I like white. I just don't like Chardonnay. But I've drank this much of it so far. Not today.
You know what? No
There's
judging.
only this much left, so I must have liked it at some point.
There you go.
I feel like a Chardonnay and white wines are what I go to when I'm already kind of feeling real happy.
Oh, yeah.
And I run out of other drink. And then I'm like, oh, fine.
Run out of other drink.
I'll drink the white wine.
I thought this was going to be a couple of glasses. I guess it's just one.
Well, you better make it last.
Yep.
I better.
Or get more of something else.
Yeah, I could let you guys talk and I could go get something else if I have to.
And it'll be nice to actually have somebody else to talk to. I mean, I do fine just talking to myself, but
that's right. I can leave and go to the
songs.
bathroom and she sings and it's all good.
Amy's like, is there another person on the podcast? I'm like, no.
Well, now there is.
There is.
But anyway, yes, Amy, I am also the same kind of person
Yes.
that needs to look something up right away, but I don't want to do it while we're talking, while we're recording. And so I'm like, I'll just deal with it later.
Yeah.
And then I write it down or I type it into the keep while I'm sitting here. But now that you're on, you can be doing that. Wow. And we can keep talking and we can keep going and you can, take your notes and look it up. And then either if it's something off the top of your head, just blurt it out. But if it's something that you need to look up, feel free to go ahead, look it up. And then either let us know at a good stopping point. Hey, you guys, when you said this, it was this, or we can do it at the end. So however it seems to flow most naturally, that's what we'll do.
And it's probably going to be a smattering of all the above.
Yeah, that's fine. Perfectly
And that
fine.
works. I don't know if you've noticed, but we tend to go off the rails and go on tangents. And
Nope, never noticed.
Never noticed.
okay.
Nope.
Have
All
you
right.
heard
We're
us?
subtle about it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
Yep.
So the one thing I just noticed about an hour ago, and I posted it on our socials, posted it. I swear I haven't even had a sip of that wine yet.
I don't
Posted
know.
it
The bottle was
on-
pretty empty.
That was from another
Right.
night.
How are we supposed to know
Yeah.
that?
How
I
are we
know,
supposed to
I
know?
know. I swear.
I'm just saying,
I tried to get Greg to
sus.
go out to happy hour today before it. He wouldn't. He didn't want to.
as the kids
So-
would say nowadays, that's kind of sus.
Yeah.
I'm hip.
So I learned today because I have HBO or had
Mhm.
HBO, which then became HBO Max, which is now, as of today, Max.
Max.
Okay. Can
Today being May 23rd.
we stick with a fucking name?
I know.
No, we want to just make it. We're going to keep making it easier. It's just going to be 3 letters.
Pretty
I
soon
see.
it'll just be
Which is what it was the first in the beginning when it was just
Right?
yeah, it was
HBO.
HBO.
And then they merged with Cinemax, I think, and that's where the Max
Yes.
came from. I don't know what happened to HBO, but now it's just called Max. But at any rate, I logged in today, got the new app, logged in, and right there in my stuff is Dead Files. And
I
I
don't want to
think
have to
I
get
did-
another subscription.
no, but hang on.
okay.
I think I did read that Max scooped up Discovery Plus. So now I can get rid of Discovery Plus because it's all in
yes.
Max. And when I looked at it, it was already in my stuff. So it's already going to show the ones I've watched and the ones I
Mhm.
haven't and all that. So I'm just going to double check and make sure that I'm recording all of them in HBO. And then if they are, I'm canceling
Okay.
Discovery Plus. So that's just a little tip for anybody out there who has Discovery Plus and has HBO or Max. You don't
Just-
need them both.
If you do cancel it, make sure you reinstate it for the week of July 11th through July 18th because that is Shark Week. This year to be hosted by Jason Momoa.
But it's probably going to be on Max also.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because I did a little search today while we were out at dinner.
Mhm.
I looked up Guys Grocery Games and Chopped and all those Food Network stuff. They're all on Max now too.
Oh,
Oh,
then
nice.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I don't remember. I think Max is like $15 a month or something, but there's so
Mhm.
many good things on there.
Yeah.
So if you want to get rid of Discovery, you can do that and just use Max.
Just
Anyway,
make sure
that's my little PSA of the
That
day.
Shark Week is on there. Mark off your calendars, July 11th through the 18th. It's weird because it's a Tuesday to Tuesday this year.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's Sunday to Sunday. So
Yeah, didn't we decide that it was Jason Momoa's schedule?
yeah,
that
it was
messing
Jason
that up.
Momoa's schedule, which is
Yep.
fine. That's fine.
Whatever.
So I'm just waiting for the schedule to come out because that's where it really is.
I
to
can't
know.
tell. Do you like Shark Week or?
I know it's really.
I mean,
was
do you have
going,
a thing about sharks or something? I mean, this is not something I know. This is
I
new
just
to me.
you know, it is. Most people don't. I'm subtle. I'm really subtle with it. Speaking of sharks, though, so I lost another shark, Babu.
You know
His
what?
tra-
I have Babu too.
yeah, his tracker's gone.
But he was seen.
The last time, according to my app, the last time he was seen was May 6th.
Oh, I think
That's my
I think I
brother's
saw him.
birthday.
Yep. So if you click on him, it'll say his tracker's gone. So then I got Poseidon,
Excited.
who's another hammerhead.
Okay. Yeah, I wrote to follow today about
Mhm.
my penguin Regina because she hasn't been seen in 4 months since January. So
Yeah,
I'm
her
thinking
tracker fell
she's
off.
probably gone. Yeah, you're right. Babu May 6th.
So he's gone.
And
But Poseidon's the only one that I have who's in the Gulf of Mexico. He's off
Oh.
the coast of Texas by kind of halfway between Houston and Corpus Christi. And I used
Oh.
to live in Corpus Christi.
Oh.
And he's 11 feet long. So he's the biggest
big
one that I
guy.
have. That's a big shark. Yeah.
that's a big
Luckily,
dude.
he's a hammerhead though. So he's pretty, he's not going to attack you. And his
Okay.
mouth is like teeny tiny under his head.
Oh,
so
oh yeah.
they
one of
don't have
those.
big
Okay.
mouths like,
Okay.
great whites do.
Right. Great whites.
Or
are
the mega
terrifying.
mouth shark, which is aptly named. Anyway,
Black tips or makos,
yeah, but yeah.
tigers.
Speaking of tigers, did you see the tiger who attacked the kayaker's boat? Which-
No.
I'm saying don't bring a fucking kayak on the
saw that.
ocean.
Tiger
you
shark,
dumb?
people,
Tiger
not a
shark,
tiger.
Okay.
A tiger shark, not a tiger.
Where'd the tiger get a
I know. I was
kayaker?
about to bring up the
Oh.
shark attacking the kayak too, and then you're like, "Do you hear about the tiger that attacked the?" I'm like, "I swear that was a shark."
I thought I said shark. In my
Tiger
brain, I said shark.
Yeah,
to
that's
be
okay.
fair. So
To be
how
fair,
did you not get it?
I did.
That's connect. That's
not at
connect.
first.
I'm just saying, don't bring a kayak, like the smallest boat, into the biggest body of water.
Yeah.
Especially when it mimics the shadows of
Of a
what
seal.
they eat.
Yeah, I'm sure that he was just like, "Oh, yum, a seal," and then took
Because
a bite.
as soon as he bit it, he left.
Yeah. Well, the guy
He
said he
was-
kicked him in the nose too.
Well, that's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Or punch him in the eye
Punch him,
if you're that close, which I hope
Yeah.
nobody ever is. But
God no.
Yep, no thanks.
Anywho, I'm sorry. This is not a shark podcast, even though it could be. But
We could do an offshoot,
oh,
but you'd have
God.
to host that because I know nothing. My knowledge of sharks is I've seen Jaws a couple times.
Which is honestly, it wasn't even okay. We just I'll get on a tangent. So
We're not there already.
true. Fun fact, though, the writer of the book, the author of Jaws, got real upset because after Jaws was made, everybody started hunting great white sharks and they almost went extinct. And the author was like, "This is not what I wanted," and he got really big into shark conservation.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then he passed away, but his wife still does it.
Peter Bletchley, right? Bletchley,
Yeah.
Betchley. I had that book and my mom wouldn't let me read it, so she stole it and hid it in the closet.
She didn't hide it in the freezer?
No. No, she hid it in the closet along with my copy of The Exorcist.
That I will never
Wouldn't let me read that
or watch
either.
that. Yeah, smart.
And she hid them, but I knew where they were, so I just went and got them and then read them and put them back. So
I'm
Okay.
with Babs on that
it's all
one.
good.
I don't think my parents have ever taken a book away from us for reading.
Mm-mm.
You just didn't pick the naughty books, I guess.
No. Just move to Florida. They'll take all the books away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're having a big bonfire there, huh?
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Burn them all.
Because that's led to good things in the past when we start burning books.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So
All right. We're not doing friends. We're not doing an episode this week. We're just
thank God.
shooting the
Because I was
shit.
in the shower and I'm like, I hope I'm not presenting because it's in 20 minutes and I've done nothing.
Nope, that would have been on me because Amy and I had talked about it a little bit last week, and then the weekend happened, and maybe there was just a little bit of stuff going on in my
Oh,
brain, and I
boy.
didn't even think about it. So
Yeah. No, I didn't expect you to. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect you for your very first show to do a recap. So
No
you don't
pressure.
have
I
but
can't
you
live up to
actually
what
have
you
to
two
do.
do,
Oh,
but it'll be my own spin.
I don't know.
one day.
The bar's
Yeah.
pretty low. I mean, we're not exactly.
Yeah, that's
breaking ground
because
here.
you're limboing under it.
to.
See how I turned that around?
I did. Nice job. Nice job.
But
Here all week, folks. Tip your weight,
Here all
Steph.
yeah. So I do want to mention that for those of you who may be new, you probably not. This is probably not your first episode if you're new, but let's just pretend like you are. Megan and I worked together many moons ago.
Yes.
And that's how we met.
Yes.
And then we both left that company, but we stayed friends.
In the dust.
In the dust. I mean, it was a fun company at first, like when we
Yes.
first started working there, and we worked there
Yes.
together. We had fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we realized, I was there for 2
You
years.
were there a
which is-
lot longer than I was.
Yeah. Usually I start seeing the cracks in a company at about 2 years.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that's usually when I start planning my exit. And
Right.
and that was shortly before, I think I was there about a year before Megan
Mhm.
came on. And then we worked together for a while, and then it started to get kind of shitty.
And then they
and-
fired me.
Yeah.
That was the
Mhm.
first job I'd ever been fired from.
It was a weird company. They
Yeah.
fired people, for doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing.
I think they fired me because I didn't fit their mold.
Yeah.
I wasn't like a skinny, young, fresh out of college person. When they went out, I didn't drink with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So-
didn't either, but I wasn't in the same role as you. I was
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
office manager. So I
Right.
was kind of seen as the mom anyway. So it didn't matter that I was 20 years older than everybody.
Mhm.
And I still would go out with them and I'd have drinks, but I didn't get shit faced like they did.
Oh, they got just annihilated.
Yeah.
Annihilated.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. That whole,
I'm like,
I won't say what the industry is.
No.
But I know somebody now who also did that for a while, and she said the same thing. That's just the industry.
It's just the industry.
It's bad. It's
and
bad.
I'm like, this
and
is
it's not hospitality or service, you guys. It's
No.
not like we were not working at a bar.
No. That's just a given. I mean,
that I would expect.
Right. But yeah, they would get like
bad.
fall down, annihilated. And I'm like, this is work.
And
like,
then
this
you
is
would
your
get
job.
like they would make you go out on like a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And then you would have to be at the staff meeting at 7:30 the next morning.
Ew.
Yep.
And if you did not show up, you were in big fucking trouble.
Yep.
And so people were showing up still drunk.
Yep.
And then they're like trying not to barf at the meeting. And then as soon as the meeting's over, they run off and either sit in the
Pass
bathroom all
out.
day, or they go into one of the conference rooms and pretend like they're doing a conference and they sleep.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was a bad environment.
It was, so I'm glad I'm out of that. But anyway, that's how we met. And then Amy and I met, I think, through other Amy 3.
AP.
AP. We met through a murder meetup.
Yep. Murderino's meetup.
Murderino's meetup.
Yeah, my favorite murder. Yeah.
At where it was I remember.
Number 12 cider.
Yeah. And there was a pizza truck there. Like a food pizza truck.
It's their main
delicious.
Their main pizza truck. It's the wife of one of the owners of Number 12 runs the pizza truck. Little I don't remember the name. I'll have to look at what the name of this. But the pizzas are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's awesome. I really enjoy talking to her. But yeah, that's where.
And then we were just talking and we were like, the more we talked, like the more we were like, oh my God, you're into that? I'm into that. And then we started talking about ghosts and like our experiences. And I'm like, no, but like I've had some. And Amy's like, oh my God, me too. And I'm like, no way. And then we just kept going. And here we are 3 years later, still friends. Because I think it was right before the pandemic, wasn't it?
It was right before. Yeah, it was like January of the year of the pandemic, or the start of the pandemic. Because then we went out like in February too. We went to Utapills and then over to Bent. And with my mom and my brother, like my family. We just like to.
That's right.
We like to
I remember
go,
your brother was there.
Yeah, we just like to go out and go to breweries during the day or something, because the dogs can go and you don't have to drink at them. There's usually other stuff there too. But
I felt pregnant, as Amanda from Wine and Crime likes to say. And then we went for walks when I was preggers. Or Amy, she probably was like, I want to walk fast. And I'm like, just waddling along.
Hot,
it was so hot.
We went to Bunker.
Yeah, I think that was with Briggs.
Yep. Yep. Briggs came with us.
Yep. And I'm just waddling along. And Amy's like, why did I agree to go on a walk with this?
No, then we sat down and got to what we really wanted, which was the food.
Oh, yeah.
Because we brought a little
we did.
Picnicky snackies.
Picnic. Yep. And let's be honest, that's why I do anything if there's food involved.
Food motivated? Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. Let's be real. I made a dill pickle pasta salad this week. I devoured
I've made one of those before too. I wonder if it was the same one.
Amy and I talked about it over the phone.
Yep.
And she was like, you should have used, because I subbed out Greek yogurt for mayo. And Amy's like, I said,
you subbed out mayo for Greek yogurt. Put the Greek yogurt in. Yeah.
Yeah. I subbed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amy speaks, Megan.
I may have still got it wrong.
You had yogurt.
Yes.
Not
yogurt
mayo.
was in instead of mayo.
Yeah. Got it.
I'm drinking water, you guys. Like, this is water. And then Amy's like, well, you should do like a tablespoon of mayo. Cause I'm like, it was really dry. It dried out the next day. So, it was so good. I ate it. Oh my God. I ate so much dill pickle pasta salad. No regrets though. No regrets. It was delicious.
No regrets. Yeah. I've made one of those before too, and it was delicious.
And then Amy 1 met Amy 3 through B.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, last April? Like right away at the beginning of April, I think.
Yeah, because we had just started this podcast.
Yeah. I think you you came on as a patron. And I didn't know you.
You were the first one.
Yeah. Well, I think actually Melissa was our first patron.
Okay. So she was the second one.
And then Amy came on right away. It's probably like a day apart. I could
That's
look it up, but
right,
it's probably like
because
a day apart.
Amy was like, "Who's this person?" And I'm
And
like,
I'm
"Oh
like,
my
do
God,
we
that's
know
my
this
friend
Amy? And she's like, that's my friend Amy. She's the best.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember you guys talking about it actually as you're saying that now.
Yeah. So and then we met in real life when we did a little happy hour, I think.
I thought Yes, you're right. You're right.
I do want to mention one thing for the folks listening. When we went to see Jenny the psychic, it was Amy P, AP, me and Megan and Amy's sister Kelly, and then Amy's work friend Tori, who the rest of us had not met. Had Kelly met Tori either?
No.
Nobody. Okay,
Yeah,
so nobody had met
It
Tori.
was just me pulling everybody in.
Yeah, and we get there, and Jenny, the psychic, she goes. As soon as we sit down, like we're barely even got our butts in the chair, and she goes, "Well, I will tell you, this is not your first lifetime together. All of you,
all of you,
were brought here together for a reason." And I was just like, "That's like when it started. Like I started to feel all the tingles and everything."
I just got the tingles now.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, it was cool. And she said, that we've done this before, so that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's probably why we all get along so well. Because
yeah.
Not our first go around.
That's right. I'm curious to know what our relationships were in past lives.
We had to have been sisters at one point.
Could have been
like
sisters.
We had to have been.
She did say that Megan and I are soul sisters.
Yeah.
So, which to me, I think means that we were sisters at some point, or our souls are sisters.
Did she say with the two of you that one of you was like you guys were mother-daughter in the past at one point?
She did.
Us too?
Yeah, because I was just getting that whole like clinging right now, like mother-daughter, but I don't remember which way it was. But
I don't think she knew, but she did say one of us was a mother and one of us was a daughter.
Really?
To each other. I mean, obviously,
at some point,
At some point, we were daughters. We're currently daughters.
Interesting. I don't remember that.
We should go back. I want to go back.
I do. I want to go back.
But I need the group rate because I'm poor.
Yeah.
But you know what? The good news is I feel like if she was cheap, she wouldn't be.
Well,
she wouldn't be reputable.
She's definitely worth it. It's just
just
expensive.
Yeah.
But she's not even. I have seen one other before because a bunch of people we were going and was more expensive. Stopped right at a half hour, and I left with more. What? Like I bet none of it made sense. And questioning some of it that I eventually went to Jenny maybe a couple months later and not blatantly asking, but just kind of probing around some of the things that had been mentioned to me in that previous reading. You know, like I remember sitting in there with the other woman and she just was like the radio turned on and I was like, "Oh, I like this song." She goes, "Well, that wasn't me. That was your grandpa." And I was like, I don't know.
That's reaching.
Yeah.
That's reaching.
Whereas like one time I was in with Jenny and like I just felt really skeptical the whole time I was in there. Like I just didn't click with this person.
Get the feel. Yeah.
No. And then one time I was in with Jenny and it was around the holidays. So this made sense to me. And I think I was waiting for a friend to come out of meeting with Jenny and I was like, "Oh, wonder what candle she has going." Like it was a really great pine scent. And I was like, I want this candle. And I didn't see it anywhere in like, you guys have been there. You saw the rooms. It's not like there's giant space.
Right.
And there wasn't a candle burning. And so I asked her about like what scent she was using or whatever. She goes, "Oh, that's not me." And everybody, like the other person that was with me was like, "I don't smell anything." And I was like, and she looked at me and she goes, "That's your grandpa letting you know he's here."
Oh,
like, that one I felt.
And she's
she's
just so like calm and soothing. She's just like, I mean, you go in there and like instantly you feel at ease. And then just during the reading, she's just so like quiet voice. But it's earnest too. Like it's not I don't know how to explain it, but it's got emotion behind it, but it's not in your face.
She sits there too. And she, like the last time I was in just a couple months ago, month and a half ago, And I just remember her sitting there and just nodding her head.
Yes, like she's listening to something. Yes.
And she's like, she plays with her hands a little bit. So I've kind of picked up on some of those mannerisms. And then she'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she'll turn to you to, you know, have that conversation.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It was because she would be like
you could. She'd look
hearing
up
something.
like up to the like she's like we do when we're trying to think. Yep.
And she
okay, and then she goes is like, okay, I'm going to talk to Amy, and then
and she definitely. This last time she told me, she's like, they didn't even let me get in the car before they started talking to me.
Oh my gosh.
Because
we need to schedule something for sure. Like within like the next 2 months, I think.
I'd love to.
Yeah. And
because
I should share too. I had one with her a couple years ago. It must have been 2021. Or was it end of 2020? Might have been fall of 2020. But she's like, there's somebody who needs you to give a message. He's like, and she's like, I don't think you ever met him, but you know his family. And I was like, okay. And, you know, only one name popped in my head, and I won't say this person's name, but I was like, okay, well, maybe it's this person. But she said, he needs you to let them know it's all going to be okay. And this is a person who died young in a family that's had a lot of loss. And I reached out to a friend of mine and I was like, I think D, I'll just use his initial. Yeah. I think D came through to me. I never met him. I actually am good friends with his sisters and I know his brother as well, but after he had passed. And when I talked with my friend about it, he said, well, this is what's going on. This is going on. This is going on. And this is going on. So there was like a whole bunch of like turmoil going on, just like selling the family home where D had passed away, where their dad had passed, like last memories of their dad. One of the sisters was like questioning her job. Another one was like big life changes coming. And so I just reached out to the one that I was a little closer with and said, I think I have a message for you. And I passed it along and she sent me back and she was just like, I didn't know if she believed in any of this stuff either. So I was just like, here's what this is. And she said, I really needed that today.
Yeah. Wow. See, she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just really interesting.
And she just makes you feel welcome too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good.
She's good. That's for sure.
Yeah. We need to schedule that again this summer for sure.
Absolutely.
Hi, friends. Amy here. I just wanted to share with you some promo reels from some really amazing podcasts in our Boo Pod network. Please give them a listen.
Sometimes, those with a strong attachment to a specific place during their lifetime choose to stick around, reliving moments or specific events that took place there. It all comes back to the history that was left behind. That history leaves an impression. This is the Haunted Happy Hour podcast, a show dedicated to uncorking chilling conversations about the paranormal. We're your hosts, Lily
and Vanessa. We dig through the history of locations to get an understanding of why certain places are considered to be haunted, what happened there, and why.
We seek to understand the reasons for encountering some sort of paranormal manifestations in certain locations while sharing our own experiences.
Took some shots, everything was great. But then when I looked the second time, I was already down to 7%. I had like 50 some.
Oh my gosh.
Join us in our haunted lounge as we share stories about the history, hauntings, and lore throughout our hometowns across the Midwest and beyond.
For those looking to find out what spooky tales lie trapped within some of America's cities and towns, Join us for the next Haunted Happy Hour. We'll talk spirits, drink spirits, and sometimes even encounter spirits. I could definitely taste the vanilla.
Honestly, it's not as strong as what it smells like. I give this one 2 thumbs up.
Okay, now that we're enjoying our drink though, let's go ahead and talk about the stories.
You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you have Echo devices, an easy way to listen is just say, Alexa, play Haunted Happy Hour podcast.
So, we invite you to sit back, grab a cocktail, and let us introduce you to some history, mayhem, hauntings, and spirits right here on the Haunted Happy Hour podcast.
Cheers!
Hello, and welcome to Horror Roulette, where you never know what you're going to get. We're your hosts. I'm Em, and that's my brother Nick.
Each week, we spin the wheel of misfortune to randomly generate an episode topic, which makes our lives miserable, but this podcast listenable.
We've covered everything from the Toy Box Killer to Jack and Jill.
From Ed Wood to Black Widows, we've suffered through it all.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check us out at horrorroulette.com.
Listen if you dare.
Anywho, so what else? Amy, you had some topics you wanted to.
I do have a
go
quick
over.
topic.
Oh, okay.
I had a brush with death the other day.
Oh no.
I was getting ready to shower, and I look up, and what do I see?
I was
spider.
gonna say, was there a spider?
A spider. Yeah, a fucking tarantula just crawling across the wall. And of course,
It was
I'm
really
like,
this big.
It was that. Listen, okay, it's all perspective. I could see its body, and that's what counted. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's moving. I took a video of it, and it's moving, and then it goes on the ceiling, and of course in the corner. And I'm like, great. So he's just waiting for me to get in the shower before he lunges off the ceiling and attacks my face.
Right in the face.
So right in the face. And he was this big, so it'd be like right
The
in
whole
the
face.
Yep,
the whole
definitely.
face, like a huntsman spider.
Right.
So then I'm like showering, and I'm texting my friend. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Do I get in the shower? Like, I have to get in the shower, but like, you know what? John was sleeping, so I couldn't wake him up. And I'm trying not to kill the spiders. Like, I really do, because I know they eat the bugs and blah, 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 blah. So I showered the whole time, just bird's eye view on it.
Yeah. I've done
Just
that.
looking at it.
I've done that. I used to have
was like,
daddy
I see
long
you.
legs in my shower.
Yeah, I
all the
don't
time.
mind those. Like,
No, I
whatever.
know.
They're fine.
Those aren't even
but
really spiders, right?
No.
That's something
They
They
that
only
are.
have
I've done.
6 legs.
But they
Daddy
only
long
have
legs?
one
No.
little body too. Spiders have segmented bodies, and
Our
they have just
daddy
one body.
long
A
legs
ceph-
spider.
yeah, cephalothorax and an abdomen.
Daddy longlegs is a common catch-all name for an entire taxonomy of spiders found all over the world, and typically
Oh, they are
characterized by their spindly legs and messy webs. Well, that's judgmental. You don't know their life.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the best they can do. They
They're
have tiny bodies.
yeah. In the
Anyways.
arachnid, and that's ticks and things like that are all in the same like category.
I don't like ticks.
And it's funny because I'm like
ticks.
really scared of spiders, but I worked at a pet store and we had scorpions, and I really like scorpions. We had an emperor scorpion, and they're like
course you
the
did.
most docile.
those freak me out. They
Scorpions.
have
Mhm.
pinchers. Anything with
Yeah.
pinchers, I'm not on
But
board.
they're really docile. Fun fact, if you put a scorpion, any scorpion, under a black light, they will like turn fluorescent.
What?
Yep. So if you're ever like in the desert, bring your black light at night.
Okay.
If you're like, are there scorpions around? You can find them.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Good
Jot that
to
down
know.
in your Megan's useless information notebook. That's probably full at this point.
I have my notebook here to take notes if I needed to. And this is the notebook that I had near my bed where I would write down my dreams every once in a while.
Yes.
It says dreams
Oh,
and
look
stuff.
at that.
But then I decided it was easier to just speak it into my
Yeah.
keep.
Yep.
Instead of having to write it down, because it
Mhm.
wakes me up
Because at
too much.
2 a.m,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
really like,
Makes me up too much. But I tried automatic writing.
Oh,
And those of you watching the video, this is what it looks like.
Okay.
There's really nothing there. I just set it on my belly. I was laying down and I just set it on my stomach or on my chest and just started going like that. Scribbling. And yeah, it's really just scribbles. Really can't see anything.
We'll wait while you write down my fun fact about scorpions in the UV light, the black light.
Okay.
Just
Scorpion.
Scorpion, black light. They light up fluorescent.
UV light.
Also, meerkats eat scorpions.
Well, most things are food for somebody. So, they're not all bad. Like ticks. I don't like ticks, but somebody eats them.
Possums do.
Yeah, I like possums.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I like possums, I think,
ticks are
because
so
they
little.
eat ticks.
Yeah. So, well, of course they eat other things, but possums, which are not really native to Minnesota, most of them that come up here have found a way typically on like long haul trailers and that sort of thing. Because
they're invasive up here.
They're not invasive.
They're hitchhikers.
They're non-native. Those are two different things.
Okay.
So invasive is something that's going to take over, doesn't have like those flying carp and those sorts of things where they don't have a natural predator and then they take out the food sources. Or buckthorn that chokes out a forested area. But non-native species can also have, they're not always as
harmful.
Yeah.
Detrimental.
Some can be, but possums they come up here and they have things that will end up eating them, other critters. But they do take care of ticks. I believe they don't get rabies. And so they can't share rabies or anything like that.
I thought they did. Oh, maybe I was wrong.
Possums are good.
But yeah, possums are pretty cool.
They're so ugly. I think they're cute.
Well, yeah.
They're cute until they open their mouth. They have really long, pointy
chompers.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like it. But they're kind of cute when their mouths are shut.
They're kind of cute.
And the babies
Anyways,
are cute.
I forget what we were talking about before I derailed us.
Oh, we were just going to come up with some topics to talk about. And then you
Amy
said, I
had
have
some.
one.
And then I had my death-defying experience where I
That's
defied
right.
death, which is what death-defying is.
Mm-hmm.
I just mansplained death-defying.
Thanks, Megan's Splain.
You're welcome. Here for you. Well, actually...
Sorry, I'm listening to Wesley get yelled at.
Actually, death-defying is when you defy death. Where do mansplainers get their water? From a well, actually.
Oh, God. Can they get pushed down that well? Like, wait, have you guys seen Bly Manor?
No.
The Haunting of Bly Manor?
Oh, wait. Is that one of the ones in the Hill House
Yes.
section? Yeah.
So, it was Hill House and then Bly Manor.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it would scare me.
It's good.
Well, yeah, that one doesn't have the jump scares. Like, Hill House had the jump scares and was like threatening, scary, whereas Bly Manor was a gothic romance. So then you'd see things moving in the background or,
that's worse.
like something sitting there. Oh,
that's worse.
The story was so good though.
Yeah.
I can deal with the jump scares, but.
Well, I remember, I think I remember Hill House having a lot of stuff going on in the background that I didn't notice the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, I was like, what the? You'd see something in there.
But it had one of the most
creeping around in the
masterful jump scares that got like everybody.
Yeah. That was good. I liked those.
I'll just stick to my period dramas like Queen Charlotte and Downton Abbey.
Mm-hmm. I like Downton Abbey. I haven't watched Queen Charlotte. I was going to tell you about something I watched. I started today watching
Jury Duty.
Yeah, well, Jury Duty I loved. I finished Jury Duty. We talked about that a couple of episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. So sweet and wholesome. Little Ronald, who was the Joe Schmo of this one. Such a sweet pea. And it was really cute. And of course, my boyfriend, James Marston, was very good. But no, I started today watching the Jennifer Garner one on Apple, which is, I think it's called The Last Thing He Told Me. And the guy that played Jamie in Game of Thrones plays her husband.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Dorsden? I'm gonna look.
Got a long name. like three names. Castor Wall, something like that.
Nikolai.
Yes, Nikolai Castor Wall, something.
That doesn't.
Megan's going to fact check this one.
I'm going to look it up. I'm on it.
Okay.
You're right. It's Nikolai Castor something.
Nikolai Castor Waldo.
Waldo.
Where is he? Waldau. Waldau.
Okay, Waldau.
Nikolaj. And he's Danish.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I love Danish.
You can speak to him because you're learning Danish.
I am learning Danish, but that doesn't mean I know Danish. It's a very hard language. I have been doing Duolingo for 4 years now, and I still could. I don't even think I could order a Danish.
Oh yeah, he's Owen Michaels in that show.
Yep. It's good. It's good.
I was gonna say, good for you on at least sticking with it for 4 years.
Time.
I was on a streak. Like I every single day I would at least do 5 minutes so that I was on my streak, and it was all over. It was just before COVID, and then when COVID hit, I'm like, well, what else have I got to do? I might as well learn it. And so I did that, and my streak was like 1,600 days or something like that. Wow. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not learning anything.
The only thing I've done 1,600 days in a row is get up.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Well, sometimes that's all we can do.
Yeah, some days that's an accomplishment in and of itself.
It is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-mm.
You do what you can do, and that's enough.
That's right.
I once saw something where it said, like, if you only have 20% to give and you give all of that 20%, you've given 100%.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really a good thing to live by.
It's true.
Some days you just can only give 20%.
Yeah.
Some days all you can do is get up and shower.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah.
That's a win.
It is. It's all right.
That's what I say.
I just want to mention another show that I am watching that I've been pimping a lot. Talking about it a lot.
Oh, I thought you meant to say binging, and I'm like, why would you say pimping instead of binging? But I'm there.
Promoting.
I got there, you guys.
Promoting.
I got there.
I take no money for it, so I guess I'm not pimping. Anyway, it's called Somebody Somewhere, and it's on HBO or Max or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good. It's very.
I think you posted about that because
did.
You were like, if you aren't watching this, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
And I was like, Amy, that's aggressive, but I like it.
So good. And a new episode came out today, and I watched it immediately.
Nice.
And then I was sad that it was over. I hate when they do this once a week bullshit.
Yes.
Like we're in the dark ages. What the fuck?
What is this, 1995?
I need them to drop it all at once.
Wait?
I know. God,
or at least drop a couple of episodes and give us that like slight binge that we crave. But
I know. Like, I can't do more than 3 at a time. Anyway, just give me 3. 3 a day.
I mean, I could do more.
Yep.
I binged Queen Charlotte in like 3 days. Well, okay, it was like 2. Because there's only 6 episodes, but they're like an hour plus long.
Yeah.
The first season of Broadchurch, when I watched that like years ago, I watched that in a weekend.
Yeah.
That was so good. I loved that show.
I did too. That's the one with, I get that mixed up with the other one. That was a
that other one?
Remake? No, it was a remake of, it was Broadchurch and Grace something.
Broadchurch was the one where they were trying to solve the murder or the death of a young teenage boy at the bottom of a cliff, but a cliff that has been known for.
And it's David Tennant and Olivia Colman, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I love David Tennant.
Then they did an American version that was still David Tennant. It was the same story, but it was not, the rest of the cast was not, and he had an American accent, and it was called Grace something. Grace Pound, Graceville, something great. Grace Church.
That's starting to ring a bell.
Grace Church?
Well, it was Broadchurch, so.
Grace Point.
No. Grace Point?
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Grace Point.
Okay. Yep.
I'm going to say, it sounds familiar.
And it was really, really weird watching David Tennant speak with an American accent. It did not sound like his voice at all. Like, I don't just mean that it didn't sound like his accent. I mean, like, it sounded like somebody else's voice. It was very weird.
That kind of reminds me when I saw, everything circles back to Twilight as it should. But when I saw Robert Robert Pattinson in Harry Potter speaking in a British accent because he's British.
Yeah.
And then he's in Twilight in an American accent. And I'm like, it didn't even dawn on me. Dawn, because...
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. It took me a long time to figure out that they were the same person.
I have never once watched or read any of the Twilight series.
Good for you. I read the first one.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I mean,
I read them all.
It was dumb.
They
but I read
actually,
it. I liked
Stephanie Meyer rewrote the first one, but instead of Bella, it's Bo, and the vampire's female. So she switched the sexes.
Oh.
And it ended differently, and it was really good.
Huh.
I know they're terrible. Like I fully accept that the movies are just god awful. They're just the worst.
They're hilarious if you watch them with the riff tracks.
Okay, well now I want to do that. God, and Kristen Stewart is just the worst actress in that.
She's not actually a bad actor. She just is directed poorly, because I've seen her in other things and she's quite good.
And she's good. Yes, she is quite good. But she's just like, yeah, I don't know, I'm Bella Swan.
Well, Bella was a stupid character, so that she didn't have a lot to work with.
Just so weak. This boy leaves me and I'm just destroyed for months on end.
And then she throws herself over a cliff
yourself.
and puts herself in danger so that she gets rescued. What an idiot.
So she can see Edward. Like, fucking grow up.
So were those directed by guy or woman, or?
I think guy.
I just think about like, did you guys watch The Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so remember when Anya Taylor-Joy's character has her spiral and she hits rock bottom?
Yeah.
It's directed by a guy, and I just remember like lots of conversations going on, like, is this what they think what women's rock bottom
she
looks
like put on a big chunky sweater and ate ice cream or something like that.
And she was in her underwear and like dancing around the house.
Yeah.
And
that's what it was. She was doing that, and all the women who watched it were like, that's not what we do. We put on a big sweater and we eat ice cream.
And she was drinking and smoking, and like she had her music on or whatever, and just like, and then there was the makeup was like all over her face and stuff, and it was just like,
it's like when men authors write women.
Yeah.
There's a whole TikTok like genre where it's just people writing how men writers write women, and it's like,
yeah,
some of them are good. Some of them are good, but some of them are atrociously bad.
Yep. I will say one of my favorite authors, because I grew up reading him, is Louis L'Amour. So Westerns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Grew up reading him. He had, of course, being Westerns, there was always clashes between settler, like people, cowboys and Native Americans.
Yep.
But the way that he wrote it was, the bad guys would use terms like savages and like things like that. But like the good people within the books showed the culture and different and things of different tribes. A lot were with Apache and Cheyenne and that sort of stuff out in those areas. But because he knew people who were raised by Apache, like a lot of stuff he wrote about, he actually did. And like his first novel is a novel called Hondo. And it was written about a little boy who fought back when his settler family was killed. And he was taken and raised by the Apache as an Apache.
Oh.
And so I won't say the job that Louis L'Amour was doing with this guy one summer. It was, working on a cattle ranch, but there was a specific job they had to do. And he told him stories of how they used to outrun the cavalry. And so they would go do whatever they were going to do. And they knew where to go through the desert where there was watering holes where they would get all the water. So then the cavalry would have to turn back to save their horses.
Wow.
But he also wrote a few books that had women lead. And the majority of the women in his books were not the like, woe is me, I can't take care of myself, as
I'm
how
a
is
weak
classified in a lot of Westerns of like the women can't take care of themselves, which doesn't make any sense because they had to.
Yeah, a lot of them were farmers.
Right. Yep. And if their husbands were ranchers and cattle drivers, they were gone. Like,
exactly.
Women aren't just going to sit there staring out the window going, I can't wait till my husband comes.
He had some of his villains were women who were like outsmarting everybody else. And then he had a couple ones where he actually wrote the main character was woman. And, it was just in especially since he wrote in like the 60s and 70s, just like his time frame. I just thought I always respected the way that he wrote about what he knew and what he saw and what he did. I also learned how to track by reading Louis L'Amour. Like he tells you how to like look for
sure,
the way that a grass or leaves are bedded down because of the way that somebody's walking across. So which way to look for them folding down and how to tell like how old something is, because he usually has some sort of tracker. Like, it's a cookie cutter book. You know what's going to happen.
Right.
There's a good guy. There's a bad guy. They have fights. There's usually a physical altercation. There's usually a shootout. Bad guy wants girl. Good guy gets girl.
Right.
But they're well done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and there's something comforting about those two when you know what it is. You know what you're going to get.
It's like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
There's never a surprise in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
You're never watching it and something happens and you go, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Sometimes I wish there would be a surprise. That's why I like the mysteries and murder. Or mysteries and murder.
Movies and mysteries.
I want to say murder all the time because it just flows.
It does.
It just rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Speaking of that, then too, have you guys seen Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris?
Yes.
No.
That was, we watched that the other night and that was
so good.
Like, I think my dad said something like, well, it's kind of like a Hallmark, but better.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Melissa and I have a podcast that we haven't actually recorded in quite a while.
I was just going to say, I haven't noticed any new episodes.
No, we haven't in a while because we've been busy, but it's called Cozy Land. And we covered that movie in one of our episodes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. We both really liked it. It's very sweet. And the costumes are beautiful.
Ugh.
The set design, because it's about this woman who, what is it, in the
1957.
50s. Okay. And her name is Mrs. Harris, and she goes to Paris. And she wants to buy a couture dress.
Christian Dior,
yes. And so she saves up all her pennies and goes out to Paris and goes to the Christian Dior shop. And of course, they look at her like she's like a housekeeper or something.
Yep, she's working class.
Yeah. And they look at her like, you can't possibly afford this. And then she shows that she can. And some of them are still got their stick up their butt about it. And they're mean to her.
Feathers ruffled.
Right. But, some kind people, lead her.
Because she was, it was because of her, throughout the whole thing. And so the part that why she wants to go and follow her dream, because you don't see her have this dream of wanting this couture dress until, something, she sees it from somebody else, but she has, for 13 years, she doesn't know where her husband has been.
Right.
Because it was
World War II.
World War II.
That's right.
And she gets notification that his wreckage of his plane was found from 1944. And so she's been, kind of waiting for him. Her life's been on pause, hoping that he'll come back to her. And then when he doesn't, it's like, I need to do, it's like this, I need to do something for me. And, then she gets this dream, and then you see all these like things that you're like, okay, they can't make all these things go right, can they? And they don't.
Yeah.
But you don't know which ones aren't going to fall into place and which ones are.
Right.
But one thing I thought was kind of really interesting was because, she's a housekeeper or house cleaner. She also has a patron who will not pay. Every time she brings it up, the woman's like, oh gosh, look at the time. Like,
and she's rich.
Yep. very well off.
Yeah.
And then when she gets to Paris and she's in the train station with the 4 men who are sitting there just drinking, and the one walks her to Christian Dior, and at that time there's a kind of a strike going on for street cleaners and that sort of thing.
The garbage, I think, is piling up, right?
So there's garbage all over the streets, and she says something about it. And as he says goodbye to her, he says something about the worker is king. And then you see things continue to play out in that manner throughout. But it's, like you think you're going to have a love story, and then it's not really like, is it a love story? Is it not a love story? Is it what is it? It's just, I don't know. I thought it was really good.
Sounds good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we're watching? Anything else we want to?
I finished Queen Charlotte and I'm sad. The last episode was so good. I cried, but like good cry. I just liked it. I mean, it was a good story, but the costumes, oh my God. Just like beautiful dresses, and oh man, it was just the best. But it's over now. And
was it full of sex like Bridgerton was?
Yes.
Okay.
But classy sex.
Because I haven't heard that. But I did hear people that watched Bridgerton called it Peen and Prejudice.
Okay. That's why you said that. But it was good. Good. That's where I'm at now. I just watched TikTok.
Yeah.
You can't watch it in Montana now. It's banned.
But how are they going to regulate that?
Well, you can't download it from the App Store.
Right. You can't download it, but if you already have it.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to regulate it.
I don't understand how they could regulate it without literally telling you we're watching what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw TikTok was going to sue them for banning it.
It should.
Yeah. People think that Facebook just got slapped with a $1.3 billion fine because allegedly they were giving, from what I read, the brief article that I read, they were taking European data and giving it to Americans.
Oh.
So.
Isn't that why we have all of the, like, I agree cookie messages? And
I don't know. I just saw they got like it was like $1.3 billion fine. But they're worried about TikTok doing that, whereas other companies have been doing that for years. So.
Well, I mean, the biggest part is because TikTok is owned by a Chinese company.
Yeah, that's why they don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, the reason that the government doesn't want us to watch TikTok is because we actually see news.
Yes.
That's on the ground.
Real news.
We see what people are experiencing in their everyday lives.
And not filtered
it's
news.
Not on the news because they don't want us to see it. And so, like, when the George Floyd stuff was going down, I was following a woman that was at Floyd Square every day talking about what was going on and the riots and all this kind of stuff that was going on. And you didn't see any of that anywhere. No. And you're watching it on her video.
Right.
So, and that's just something that they want to have control over it. So, unfortunate. But I'm glad we have it.
Me too.
I'm glad we were able to see it.
There was another movie I was I think you two would like if you haven't seen it yet. And it's got Rachel Lee Cook in it. And it is.
She's all that.
No, it's newer than.
Okay. Well, that's all I know her
23 years ago or whatever that was.
She's in Hallmark movies too.
Yeah, that's right.
It's on Netflix right now. One moment, please.
A Tourist Guide to Love?
Yes. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that the two lead characters are both like mid-40s. Damn, they both look really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to see, like, I actually thought like the lead guy was younger than Rachel Lee Cook because it was like, oh, well, good for her. They finally,
yeah.
With Selma Hayek and in The Last Magic Mike, giving a leading woman a younger guy.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's looks
45. He just turned 45 on April 2nd.
What's his name?
Scott Ly. L-Y.
Don't know who that is.
Scott.
Yeah. But the movie set in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
So she So she travels to Vietnam, and I mean, you get to see such a beautiful countryside and learn about some of the culture and history and stuff there too. It's just, and it's not talking all about, the presence in the Vietnam War, which is what I think we mostly hear about.
Yeah.
Right. Is it set in like current or older? Okay.
It's set current.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. It looked good. Yeah, it sounds good.
Highly recommend.
Good.
Right.
Okay. You made me think of when you said older people being like the stars.
Mhm.
There is a Hallmark movie, I think it's Hallmark, and I don't remember the name, but it stars Brooke Shields and Carrie Elways.
Oh, is that the one where she goes to Ireland?
Yes. Scotland. I think they're in Scotland.
Isn't it in Scotland? Oh, yeah. Either one.
But yeah, she goes and meets him
love
and
that
he
one.
owns a castle. It's so cute. Yeah. Melissa and I talked about that on Cozy Land too.
Yep.
And Brooke Shields is my age,
one.
so she's an old fart like me.
And
A Castle for Christmas.
There you go.
Oh my God, that sounds so.
That one is actually.
Oh, Megan, you have to watch it. It's so cute, and it's funny.
I love Carrie Elwes.
Watch it this weekend.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's
you
really,
have homework
really
now.
Yeah.
Oh, to escape a scandal, a best-selling author journeys to Scotland, where she falls in love with a castle and faces off with the grumpy Duke who owns it.
Yep.
Of course, he's a Duke.
Yeah, she wants to buy the castle, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. I do love a good Carrie Elwes.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's Brooke Shields, and I love her. Which, by the way, if you have not seen, I think it's on Hulu, the Brooke Shields documentary called Pretty Baby.
Mm.
It's fascinating,
and horrifying.
Yes.
Wasn't her mom like just awful?
Her mom was a stage mom. So, but her mom wasn't as bad. I mean, like, I read Brooke's memoir. And every time I say memoir, I have to go, what's a memoir? The joke from
Circle.
The Circle. Anyway, I read her memoir, or she read it to me actually, because it was an audiobook, but she talked about her mom, and her mom was an alcoholic, raging, like pass out on the daily. And her mom wasn't great, but her mom just wanted her to be famous. That's really all she wanted. And so she put her in situations that she shouldn't have put her in.
Yeah.
Positions too.
Yes. But like she played a whore when she was, I shouldn't use that word, but that's what that's what it was at the time. When she was like 11. Jeez. And she's naked in the movie. I mean, it's
oh my God.
Not good.
No.
It's not.
Well, wasn't it? What was it Blue Lagoon or something like that?
Where they ate the berries.
Yeah, she was.
That's all I remember from that
16,
movie.
15 or 16.
I thought it was 14, 15, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you might be right. I think she might have been 14.
Nonetheless,
they ate the berries and died. They fed the berries to their kid.
I never watched
I
it.
don't remember that. I remember seeing it.
It was I only remember that scene. I don't remember why they were killing themselves, but
Well,
they weren't going to get
on this
rescued.
Island, yeah. And they were cousins, and they were experiencing first love.
Yeah, and then they had a baby.
Yeah,
I think
you're right. I
usually
But
am.
all I remember because I was a big fan of hers since I first saw her when she was a model before she did any acting, and so I was aware when Blue Lagoon came out, and she's very tall. She's almost 6 feet tall, and she was when she was 14 too. So when she did Blue Lagoon, and the guy, Christopher Atkins, he was like normal size height for a boy that age. And so she was so much taller than him that they had her in a trench. They dug a trench so that she was under, like lower than him, so that he was taller than her. Because of course they were barefoot because they're naked most of the time. So it's not like they could just put him in Tom Cruise shoes.
Like Tom Cruise. Yeah. Fucking Tom Cruise.
I don't like that.
I can't stand him. I can't fucking stand him.
I can't either. I won't see anything he's in. Not anymore.
Even before I knew about his Scientology, I just fucking can't stand him.
Yeah, I never liked him. I think it was when
he divorced Nicole Kidman. Yeah.
No, it was long before that. It was Top
I didn't
Gun
like
that
him
I was
because
like,
of that.
what a cocky SOB. And I
just
knew he
think
was
he's
playing
a
a character, but
prick.
still. And then one of the first things I saw him
He
in was
played it
called
too well.
Taps. Did anyone ever see Taps? God, that's an
Mm.
old movie. It's about
Mm.
a military school, like a West Point type military school.
Oh, sure.
Mhm.
And he played like this tough, cocky asshole teenager.
Oh, so not even acting.
Yeah,
just
not even
being
acting.
himself.
Playing
thinking the
playing
same.
They were just
two
like,
part.
show up and
Yeah.
just be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, I'm fucking Tom Cruise.
I could do it.
I'm
Well,
a
he wasn't
douche.
anybody at the time. I think that might have been one of his very first movies. But
just can't
I hated him
stand
then.
him. He just plays the same fucking character
Yeah.
over and over again.
You know,
Look at me, I'm a fucking spy. Nah.
me.
I just can't.
But I like Top Gun and Maverick.
No.
I
mean,
yeah.
you're allowed to like the movie.
The movies were fine. I couldn't stand him.
I can't stand him. I don't go out of my way.
And then Shelley Miscavige and how he helped hide her.
Oh my
and
god, that whole thing.
That one was that the
Allegedly.
Oscars? No, Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, it
that
was
guy
something
called
just
out?
recent. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Golden Globes. Who was it
Yeah.
that called him out? I can see it. It was.
He was a comedian.
It wasn't Ricky Gervais. Was it
No.
Ricky Gervais?
No,
But that is something Ricky.
That is a
Gervais
Ricky
would do.
Gervais move for sure.
no.
But no, it wasn't him.
The guy who hosted it this year, and I.
Ricky Gervais annoys me, and this might be a controversial thing. The reason he annoys me is not that he's an atheist. Like, I don't mind, your beliefs are your beliefs, but I just feel like he has a lot of disdain for people who believe in something. And maybe he doesn't mean it, but it just comes across that way. Like he's very disdainful of people who believe in a higher power, and that just rubs me the wrong way. Like,
I think some of that comes across not in defense of that, but I've heard somebody else who goes in that direction too. And maybe it's because we also have a lot of people who try to shove their beliefs
and that's
down
not right
everybody
either.
else's throat. And so I think in his platform, right, wrong, or otherwise, it's doing the same thing right back.
Yeah.
At
and
people.
I don't like people who do that either. Like,
Oh,
you
no.
believe
Yep.
what you want to believe. Just let everybody else be.
Exactly. It
That
was
just
Gerard
pisses me
Carmichael,
off.
by the way.
Yes, I remember that it was somebody that I had never heard of that hosted
Yeah.
that award
And
show.
he was just like,
Yeah.
we'll take, I'll trade these for
Shelley
for Shelley.
Miscavige. Shelley Miscavige. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
God, I
she's
wonder where
so
she
dead.
is.
She's long dead.
I think she's been dead for a long time.
Oh, she's been dead since the day she disappeared.
Yeah.
Why they killed her, I don't know. But
If you
it's
ever want to go into a rabbit hole, look up Lisa McPherson, Scientology. You'll be dazed reading about this.
Okay. I've never heard of her name.
Yeah, I came across it like in the early days of the internet. It was one of the first things I really searched. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh no, I won't get into it. I don't know I don't remember all the details, but it was the same kind of thing. She went missing and basically, allegedly, I have to say legally,
Yep,
she was killed by Scientology.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a horrifying story.
Well, that's a horrifying religion.
It sure is. So is. All right. Do we have anything else we need to cover?
I was just going to state, because people might wonder why an
Oh.
adult person has stuffed animals behind
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Those are, well, thank you both for your kind words and everything about Briggs last week or in this past episode.
Mhm.
It was very, very kind to hear you speak so nicely and everything of him and sharing that
He was a good
information.
boy.
And yeah, these were two of his toys that always stayed in my room so that the others couldn't destroy them.
Yeah.
So they actually, I've put them
What?
there, and I have
Wesley
his collar.
destroys things?
Yeah. That it's a good thing that dog's cute. I
Yeah,
love him dearly.
it
but
really
it's a good thing
is.
he's cute. But yeah, I have them up with. Got his remains back the other day,
Mhm.
so
Good boy.
yeah.
That's
So he's with me, and then
Yeah.
I just have Wesley Pesley, the Bestly.
Who is his No,
Wesley is great grandson to Briggs.
Okay.
So he is not quite a year old yet.
Okay.
But I will say
He's got to be close, though.
June 11th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. So I will say, I think Bodie, who is Briggs's half brother, is 11, a little over an 11. So he knew right away. The girls, Talon, his daughter, and Kiri, her daughter.
Who's Wes's mom?
Yep. Wesley's mom is Kiri.
Yeah.
Yep. So they kind of were figuring it out later in the week. And I think Wesley was really picking up on, he picked up on my emotions pretty quickly, but then he was starting to figure it out. And like Thursday and Friday, I could not keep him off my lap when I was working. He comes over and right next to like at my chair, and he does this, like he ducks his head. I'm sitting in my bed, so I will try not to shake too much, but he'll like duck up. And he just clears over the armrest and everything. And doesn't matter if you're working on something or not. Right. So I usually have to turn my keyboard off because he's going to like press buttons.
Yes.
Also, he's a black lab. He is not a lap dog. Like he's not like a little.
Right. He's a big guy.
He's big.
He's got a big old head. He's like he's probably close to 60 pounds right now. But he jumps up so gently. Like when he lands, he's so light when he does it, and then if he lays down, that I can work over the top of him. But he likes to get involved in my meetings. So sometimes I have to apologize for dog butt on camera because there he is.
Yep.
But yeah, I just wanted to point that out and I thank you both for what you guys said about him last week.
Again, we're really sorry. That's really shitty and it's really tough.
It is, even when you know it's coming.
Steve Irwin. He was there for him.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Here's a reason you should be on TikTok. There's this woman that does the Rainbow Bridge, welcoming at the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh my God, I sobbed.
Every time she shows up, I'm just like, scroll. I can't
do it.
I do watch once in a while, but it's really painful,
really
but
sweet.
She's very, very good at it.
So my sister came and picked me up that morning to take us over to the vet clinic. So my sister works at our vet clinic. And she was messaging with our vet who owns the clinic. And so she came in on Mother's Day so that he could go in a place with people he knew and loved him. We got in the car. Kelly turned the car on. And as we're backing out of the driveway and just heading down, it's literally a mile from our house. And she goes, okay, this is kind of, I don't know if this is morbid or what. She goes, but the song that's playing right now is the same song that played when she lost Kaja.
Oh my
her
God.
heart and soul dog.
Oh.
So she's like, Kaja's with us.
Wow.
So, and when he did go, there were geese on a rooftop next to us on a building near us. Like, have you ever seen geese on a roof? Like, it's weird. Like, I've never seen geese on a roof, and they were on an angled roof.
They're usually terrorizing people on land.
Right? And so they were honking a little bit, but then like when we knew for sure he was gone, all of a sudden they're squawking and making up a storm. And I was just like, well, he's chasing them now. Like,
for sure.
My gosh.
So he was able to be outside. Briggs got up, went over to the tree and lifted his leg
and peed.
One last pee.
He's like, got one for the road.
One last pee meal.
And it was just like, honey can hardly stand, his body just gave out on him.
And at that point, you kind of have to be in that mindset.
Yep. So we just went with that mindset of we're not going to focus on the inevitable.
Yep.
Plenty of time to cry about it.
Yep.
When that happens.
Yeah.
And just to enjoy and be in the moment. And I think there's a lot of things that I think, but I think that he put everything into that time frame.
Yeah.
And that we didn't drag out and make me question, am I making the right choice?
Right.
Is he okay? Is he not? And the other thing that plays into it for me is vacations and things that were starting to come up. It was in my mind, I'm thinking, do I stay home? Do I not go on that? Do I find a way to bring him? Like, what do I do? And it's like, he just made sure that I didn't have to make those choices.
Yeah.
So I know everybody's going to believe what they want to believe on that, but those are
but that's what you believe.
To.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And what
Yep.
everybody else believes is fine too.
So my logic brain is in control, as
Yeah.
logic has the emotional horse in control, but the emotional horse is bucking a bit. So.
Yeah.
Logic's never in control for me. I'm an emotional wreck 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
well,
should we? I don't think we need to do an Alanism or anything tonight.
No.
It's just a different kind of episode.
But
So
next week we are
Yeah.
doing our first episode of the Dead Files season 15,
whoop, whoop.
So
which
excited
you
for
will
that.
probably have watched last night. By the time this is released, it
Mhm.
will be out, and it's titled Evil in the Everglades. So I'm going to think it takes place in Florida. Just top of my
Really?
head.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was Alaska.
I'm hypothesizing.
Hypothesizing.
So yes, that will be our new format, and we are all super excited.
So we're all going to watch
Mhm.
it as soon as we can after it's
Yep.
released, and
Yep.
then we will talk about it the next time we record, which I think is going to be just a few days after. So
Yep.
we'll figure
Yeah.
out our
Yeah.
new recording schedule and
And go from there.
that.
And welcome Amy 3.
Yes,
I'm going to call you
welcome.
Amy 3. I've decided. So
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
I respond to hey you.
Same.
Hey you.
I just feel like when we talk about
Weirdo.
like when I write the show notes and I say Amy recommended this show and Megan recommended this show, and then I feel like we should have another name for you that doesn't sound like Amy, that
Yep.
isn't Amy or something Amy or Amy something.
AU,
AP is fine.
the third.
Yeah, Amy Marie.
We could all go by our middle names, although Megan has the same middle name. But
That would
Megan
work.
can be Megan, and I can be Allison, and you can be Marie.
Marie.
Marie,
You can-
Allison, and Megan.
Anything can go. Yeah, the only nickname I ever had really was, other than being like AIM,
Mm-hmm.
I got the nickname Wheels in college because I was
Oh.
really fast on the soccer field.
Oh, fine. Nice.
And it was we had a couple of the basketball guys were out watching, and I guess they just afterwards were like, "Oh, we were so fast, and look at what you did." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So they're
Yeah.
like, "We're gonna nickname you Wheels." I'm like, okay.
There was a show I used to watch called The United States of Terra.
Mm.
And
Oh, yeah.
Um,
With what's her name?
Toni
Collette?
Collette.
Yep.
And I'm drawing a blank on his name. Patton Oswalt was in it.
Mm.
Oh, I love him.
And he was dating her sister. I think it was her sister. And they had a
In the
baby.
show or real life?
And on the show.
Okay.
And they had a baby, and he named it Wheels. It was a little girl, and he named her Wheels.
Oh my God.
I was like, let's still, but it's a little girl. But then it was so cute. It was so cute when he called her Wheels.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Well,
Anyway,
thanks for joining us, everybody.
thank you.
And
see you
we will
guys
see you next week when we
Next week.
recap the first episode in the new season.
Yep.
Of the Dead Files, and that will be our first episode of our new season as well. So that's it. Yeah.
All
there you
right,
have it.
everyone.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media, and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.
Hi, friends. Do us and yourselves a favor and check out our affiliate, 3 Spirit Drinks. They create plant-based, non-alcoholic elixirs that are cruelty-free and vegan, and they are designed to give you some of the benefits of alcohol without the hangover and other side effects. If you're looking to cut down on alcohol but still want the buzz, check them out. The link is us.threespiritdrinks.com and use the promo code The Activity Continues for 15% off your entire order.